Kilted balls.
Yeah. I think for 1 year you keep on you would do an extra bar there, and all of a sudden, like the last three, you just like cut it short.
I
I'm
don't
gonna
believe you. I don't
research
believe
this
you.
semester.
I'm sure we have some diehard fans who've been paying attention, but I have not. I have not. So, hey, people, welcome back to the Kilted Balls podcast. Thank you for joining us here. We got Kilted and Ballbuster hanging out.
hmm
Um, we have been also doing, if you've been paying attention, doing some YouTube minis and some, what do you call it?
Yes.
TikToks. And I notice, like in our TikToks or our YouTube minis, that some get a lot of views and others don't. I haven't been on TikTok as much lately. I've been doing a lot more of the YouTube minis
hmm
for this, which is, cool. But it's such a difference from my other things. I'm jumping over to my TikTok on this with Kilted Balls just to kind of look at it. And it does a similar thing. So I don't know what the formula is, but we'll have a mini or a TikTok that gets a whole bunch of views. Then we'll not have a lot of views, not have a lot of views, then a whole bunch of views, then not a lot, not a lot, and then a whole bunch. And
It can't
it's
be us.
it's just weird, like it goes back and forth. And the other interesting thing is with YouTube minis, the ones that don't get a lot of views, they'll get like 2 views, right?
Yeah, it's
And the
funny.
ones that get a lot of views are in the hundreds, right?
Uh-huh.
But on TikTok, the ones that don't get a lot of views, they get like 200, and the ones that get a lot of views get like 7 or 800, which I get it, people, that's not like a ton of views, but that's a ton to us, right?
hmm
It's not like my
I
other account. Like my other account gets, I mean, I'm kind of a big deal, right? Like I get a shit ton of views on my other, right? Like I had kids one day and I was like laughing at them because I'm like, oh, how many do you think this video will get? And they're like, ha ha ha, you'll get like 50. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? 50? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, I can't remember if I've
yeah.
ever had a video on that account get under 50. And I think that one ended up, I mean, it was just a dumb video. It wasn't like exciting. And I think it got like
Yeah.
2,000 or something. They're like, how did it get 2,000? I'm like, because I'm a big deal, bitches. Like,
Exactly. Exactly. You are.
I'm a big deal. But for Kilted Balls, we don't have that kind of following yet, right? We're not there. We will be. We will be.
Not
And
quite. Not quite
people
yet.
want Cal to start doing a TikTok. So I'm thinking about having him do a TikTok.
That's a great idea.
They really want me to. I haven't found the time. We're pretty busy.
Yeah,
And so finding
I
the time to
agree.
do it, like you'd think it wouldn't take time, but it does. It does. It takes a little bit of time. But I think that
Unless it's
those
like something you just stumble across naturally and you're like, this would be great for Cal to do a TikTok about this or that. So
yeah.
maybe put that out there and then you might just stumble across something.
Well, and I think he would love to do it. It's just not
hmm
been, something
Yeah.
that I've just it's not anything I've just been like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do that real
hmm
quick. So,
No, it takes time to set up his account, that's for sure.
oh yeah, right. I've got to make his account. I've got to make his email account to go with it, and then
hmm
put it another account on my phone, which is just what I want, like a 10th account on there.
Yeah, exactly.
It's rough being a celebrity. Rough being a celebrity.
Exactly. So, exciting news today from the Vee Friends, which we tend to follow, obviously.
We
We're
do.
fans. And Gary released a big announcement. And I can't remember, because I remember listening to the episode, but I can't remember if we talked about it, that Toys R Us were coming back and opening up in Macy's stores. Do you remember
Yeah.
talking about that?
I remember hearing about it. I don't really
Okay.
remember talking about it.
Okay, we may not have. But anyways, if anyone didn't realize that, Toys R Us is coming back and they're going to be in Macy's stores,
Yeah.
which is, kind of a big deal. And so yeah, exclusive to the Macy's Toys R Us, they will be plushies and plastic, almost like the what am I thinking of? They're right there. The
I
little
don't know, but
figurines.
you and I and we also talked to 8.1,
Mm-hmm.
the Uncaged, about doing plushies. Like the
Mm-hmm.
8.1 characters, I'm like, you guys are clearly plushie material. The Kilted Balls
Mm-hmm.
NFTs, which no, if you're like, what? You guys have an NFT? Yes, yes, we do. We have not
Mm-hmm.
released it.
Nope.
We think they're too special to release to the public. So,
So far.
so far.
Um, like a Funko Pop is what I was thinking of. So they
Okay.
have Funko Pops and plushies of 5 of the Vee Friends Series 2 characters. So
I
it's pretty
was
exciting.
super sad to not see the bat, but I understand
Mm.
why I don't see the bat.
I know
So,
Gina said, "Oh, none of those are on your arm." I was like, "No, that's all
no.
right." You
But I'll
picked
still
some.
probably buy them,
So the
right?
pre-release is already officially they're released on the 15th, I think it said.
Yeah, what's the price? What's the price point?
I think it was 25 and 30. They looked like they, they looked the 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 like the Funko Pop looking ones looked like the bigger Funko Pops, not the smaller ones, like in Gary's hand. But
Yeah,
I just saw the video really quick. So I mean that's kind of exciting. And speaking of 8.1,
yeah. I saw that. I actually opened up the Discord. They are releasing chapter 4, their fourth
mm-hmm,
character. I tweeted it out today. Did you see that?
I did not get on Twitter today.
Oh man.
Believe it or not, I was doing some fish stuff up until the very last second.
No
There was a
way.
there was a guy, he was giving away live rock.
Wow, I just saw like a
Like
naked person walk behind you.
she wasn't quite naked, but
Oh,
yes, I was
that's my story.
just yeah, just keep it in your mind. She was wearing skin colored clothes. How's that?
Ow, 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 ow. I see, I see.
um the so yeah, I was taking care of that, and then the tank was giving me troubles. But on that same front, talking about the fish, I don't know if the fish shop's gonna happen, honestly.
A lot of things have to fall into place for
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that to happen.
Yeah. And
So,
I'm not I mean, I think the idea would be super cool. I was excited about it for sure. But I think the guy thinks that his property is like downtown Charlotte where there's like tons of foot traffic and like a popular area, not like where it's at.
are you talking about the landlord or the
The
guy who owns?
landlord, the
Oh,
landlord.
yeah, that could be
So
true. That could be
yeah,
true.
I don't know if we're gonna be able to make it work. I mean, I don't know if they're gonna negotiate. Like we've talked about that
Yes.
with you and Jason as well. So
So you've
that could
you
still be
finally
a
talked to
thing.
the landlord, right?
No, the
Oh,
landlord has hired Keller Williams to take care of it.
so you've
But the
talked to
guy
Keller
at
Williams.
Keller Williams, he couldn't answer a lot of my questions, so he's finding that out and calling me back
So I have
tomorrow.
one question,
Huh.
and for people who are, this isn't like preloaded. Like I've got questions for Kilted, so you guys
Mm-hmm.
get to hear it. This is our normal entrepreneurial speak.
Mm-hmm.
My bet in my head was that they
Mm-hmm.
would charge you $16 a square foot.
1750.
Oh, I was
So
off.
close.
I was
Close.
pretty
So
close.
it's actually 15, and then he's like, "Oh, there's a 250 extra charge for blah blah blah." He said some random stuff. So whatever, there's an extra 250 charge, so it turns out to be
Like
1750.
for common
So,
area maintenance, Cam, or was it triple
yep,
net
yep,
or
okay. Yeah, that those sound familiar. I
Yep,
think you
those are
said I think you said common area maintenance.
yeah. That would make
So,
sense. So 16, the 16 a square foot that I was predicting
mhm.
was not with that included. the normal lease.
Okay. So here's the thing though, and one thing that I had forgotten about, and if anyone's ever thinking about and they're talking to somebody or looking even online at prices per square foot, that is calculated for the year.
Yes.
And
Yes,
then
it
you
is.
divide that by 12.
That is a great point. So Amy and I were talking about that last night because we were like listening to you and Jason talk, right? Like as
Mm-hmm.
I was getting ready to bed for bed and getting Cal to bed, like I was listening, and she's like, they're not doing it right. And I'm like, well, some landlords will do it per month, like a house,
Mm-hmm.
but traditionally, especially in commercial, like you're looking at,
Yeah.
they do it price per square foot. So when he said it was 1550 a square foot, it's that price for the year. So if he's renting, how big is the space?
1,500 square feet. Well, it's either 1,550, which is funny you just said that, or it's 1,535, and the Keller Williams guy did not know that, and he's like, that makes a big difference in the price. So,
Yeah. So that
but
means,
still,
so the price they're giving you is 23,250. And then
mm-hmm.
what people do is they say, oh, I want to do a monthly budget for my business. So
Yep.
they divide it by 12 and it's 1937 a month,
Mm-hmm.
which you went into it thinking it was going to be like 1,000 a month, right?
I wasn't sure what the guy said it was going to be more than what he paid currently, and he thought it was going to be like 1,600 or maybe 1,800,
So this is even higher than that.
even higher than that.
Yeah.
So he was like, just talking back and forth with him, he's like, honestly, if you can't get it for at least 1,750, he's like, I wouldn't do it a month.
1,700.
Yeah, seventeen
Okay.
hundred dollars.
Not 1,750 a square foot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, $1,700 a month. So, it doesn't. I mean, you never know; something could happen. But on the other end, he's also selling tons of stuff.
Right.
So when I walked in there 2 weeks ago, he's like, "It's everything in here
Mm-hmm.
for this price." So he's been, he has a lot of stuff on sale. He's trying to get his cash out. I don't, for sure.
Yeah.
But then, does that lower my price?
Yes, and not only does that lower your price, but as a person who's buying all this stuff cheap anyway, like you kind of just want to sit there and be like, I know your lease is up in October. So on October 30th, I'm coming in and let's see what you'll cut me a deal then. How much stuff do you want to move versus how much stuff do you want me to move?
Yeah. Well, he is planning on doing stuff from home. So
Hmm.
he had kind of hinted at that. And unless someone was going to buy everything, he was going to do that. So I mean, he has a web page, all that stuff, but he's still going to have to move all that.
Right.
He's
And
got a
it's
ton of
that's
crap to
not an
move.
easy thing to do,
Yeah.
right? It's not like calling a
So,
moving company.
yeah, exactly. I mean, the one good thing about it is, yes, water is included. So that's good.
Hmm.
But he said his electricity is like 550 a month. And then for all the aquariums and everything, and then you know internet. I don't know if garbage is included or not, and the Keller Williams guy didn't know. I don't know if that's a thing. I know
Yeah,
obviously for my warehouse I pay for garbage, but
right.
I don't know on leases how that usually works. But
Yeah.
and then what was the other thing? Oh shoot, there was something else I can't remember. But anyways, oh, I was I was thinking like, okay, I wonder, like, because it's such a small area. Like, is there going to be enough? I could probably just put a miner in there, and that could keep everything nice and warm.
Yeah. It'd keep everything warm.
and
Exactly.
it wouldn't cost as much.
No, it'd be totally fine. So my suggestion to you guys as you're looking at this, if it's something you want to do, like I still don't know if it's something that it kind of fell into your lap and
Hmm.
maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. I don't know if it's like, oh my gosh, like we're ready to take the step. But
Hmm.
I think I would go to that landlord, like, because you don't care, right?
Yeah,
So you're in a pretty darn good negotiating spot.
yeah.
And I think, oh, that's dumb. I know what it's going to be. I think I would go to them and be like, listen, we'll pay you $12 a square foot we'll do a 3-year lease. You don't have to worry about redoing the space because I'm going to just take over the store and you don't have to redo it. If you
Yeah.
don't rent it to me, right? Yeah, $12 a square foot is like what, $5,000 cheaper?
Hmm.
But if you don't rent it to me, you're going to be putting $5,000 into this store just to get it back into a white box for everybody else,
Yeah. Yeah,
right?
because it's concrete floor and then it's nasty carpet in like the back half of it.
Yeah. And they're going to probably have to redo most of that for another tenant.
Mhm.
It's normal for them to make arrangements for other tenants. Like people will come in and be like, well, I want you to build this out.
Yeah.
Or to say it's a white box for this price. It depends on the market. But
Yeah.
to have somebody just walk in,
Hmm.
like, Amy just had a national tenant that actually did that to them. It was a huge store, like size wise. And
Hmm.
they were like, it's going to be 15 bucks a square foot or whatever. And the store said, yeah, we'll give you 12. And they're like,
Hmm.
okay, why don't we? And they're like, we're not negotiating. They're like, here's our reasons why. Here's all of the market analysis, blah, 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 blah.
Hmm.
We'll give you 12. And if you don't want the 12, we actually don't care and we'll walk away. Like, we're not
Like,
negotiating. We're telling you
hmm.
that's what we're willing to pay. And if you want it, you want it. And if you don't, you don't. And they were like, okay, we want that, right? Like,
Yeah.
they wanted to keep that national tenant and it was going to
Hmm.
make a huge empty space and they didn't want that.
Yeah.
So this is a strip mall. You never know what they'll do, but you know,
I mean, strip mall in the loosest term,
okay,
like it could use a lot of things.
okay.
Like the driveway's beat up, like not the driveway, but the parking lot's really
Are they
beat up.
selling the
The
whole
building
strip
is
mall?
old.
Maybe it's time for me to buy a strip mall.
There you go. Not that I
I
know of,
I've been
but
looking, FYI, I've been looking.
oh, nice. Yeah, the
So I have not been looking in Carolina.
actually, because there is another name up, and because when I walked in there, I was like, "Oh, do I call that guy?" And he's like, "No, you got to call Keller Williams," which was across the street. Like, there's another like strip mallish thing across the
Yeah.
street, but it was a different name than what's on the actual building for like a
Okay.
different spot. But I wonder if he's like it's a good idea. Hmm.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
I'll look into that.
the reason I was guessing 1650 was because when some of the properties I've been looking at are renting for 1650
Okay.
up here.
Hmm.
So I'm like, okay, if that's what they're asking for leases here, what are they asking down there? And
Yeah.
just kind of thinking more like maybe it's time to start hitting that commercial, like I talked about last episode, like get
Yeah.
out of the rentals and go into retail, which I've always kind of wanted to do anyway. So I'm like,
Yeah.
maybe now's the time. Maybe now's time to make that leap.
Yeah. Well, I mean, think about it too. So, in this is what is that the greater Lansing area that you're
Yes.
seeing those?
Hmm.
So this is a suburb. So pick any suburb outside of Lansing that's 20 minutes outside of Lansing.
So
That's
you're
where
looking
this
at,
is.
I was going to say, so you're looking at something like in Williamston.
Yes. That's what I
Okay.
would that's
That's
how I would associate it.
right, which is going to probably pull a lot lower rent than like the one I was looking at was in East Lansing over by Eastwood Town Center area.
Yeah, no. This is and Williamston's being nice. I was thinking more like what's the other way that's not as nice? Not to
Mason,
pick on anybody. Yeah.
Mason or Diamonddale.
Maybe more like it. Well, no, I picture Diamonddale as closer to Lansing, but you understand what I mean.
Oh
Like,
yeah, 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 for sure I do.
so I don't know. It's totally fine. I mean, like you said, one way or another. I do agree with Jason a little bit in that we may be close to a point where the sky is falling. I don't like to think that, but with the money printer might get turned back on, it might not. And I do agree with his statement that a lot of people are living in debt and have that. So how does that affect a hobby?
Yeah, yeah. And it's hard for me to judge because he lives in a different world, right? He lives in
It
Florida,
is a very different world.
right? So Florida is a different world from Michigan for sure,
Hmm.
and quite a bit different from North Carolina. So, you know, Michigan people get into debt, but it's not to the degree I've seen in places like Florida,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, it's like I said, whatever happens, happens. I'm going to pursue it more, but it's not something I'm going to push and make work because I mean, that money is my bottom money that was earmarked for the bottom
Yes.
of the
Yes.
market, which I would say more invested in.
No, I would agree. I think you're right on.
Mhm.
Speaking of the market and looking at the bottom and stuff like that, you and I have done two interesting things that we haven't talked about a lot, but
Mhm.
had. The first one is we have since the beginning not taken money from our miners, right? Like
Yep.
our miner money has pretty much, I took a little bit out once or twice to move it to some looks tokens, which was probably a
Mhm.
horrible idea in retrospect. Um, but we have not been messing with the miner money, right? It's just been sitting on our account. And we
Mhm.
made the decision independently from each other, but kind of talking about it. But we made the decision to take a chunk of that. Basically, for me, I took what the last payout was
Mhm.
and I
Yeah.
moved that last payout out of that account where it was doing nothing. It's just sitting there waiting for the market to rebound. Because if you've been with us this whole time, we're on episode like 97 or 98.
Mhm.
When we started the miner business, Bitcoin was 40,000
Yes.
and we were hoping it was going to hit 60 and we were so excited. And now it's half that. So
Mhm.
now our miner's spitting out $400 and it should have been spitting out $800.
Mhm.
Which, so we were like, we're not going to play with that. We'll just let it sit there forever until Bitcoin goes up. Like
Yeah.
it's there as a retirement business, not as a,
Yes.
hey, I need cash today. But we switched it into our trading account. And
Mhm.
again, we didn't like talk to each other about that. It was things we just were like, yeah, it might be time to do it. And so we have we've added on to our strategy. So our strategy
Mhm.
last month worked okay. If you take out the mistakes that we were involved in that weren't the strategy, it worked out it worked out okay. Um,
Yep.
and so we kind of doubled down on it, and I took more money from my Bitcoin miner stuff, which wasn't doing anything, and I put it in there to do the strategy. And the thing
Mhm.
is that's nice is like before I was like, ooh, I'm going to put money in there to play with, like I was
Mhm.
gambling. And now I don't feel like I'm gambling anymore. Now I feel like I'm putting money in for the strategy and then
Yep.
I'm going to get a return on that investment. Now, the big
Mhm.
difference for us and a lot of our YouTube listeners, you've helped like make these decisions
Mhm.
is like when we were doing this before, I was saying this to my wife last night, like we were looking at now 10 or 20% in a month and being pretty damn happy. And before when we were playing, we were looking for 10 or 20% in a day.
Yes.
And so one of the big parts of growth for us was changing it from a daily outlook of 10% to a monthly outlook of 10%. And for
Yes.
me personally, that's really healthy because when we were making 10% a day, there were also days where we took crazy, crazy losses that were soul crushing. And right
Yes.
now, okay, we're making 10 or 20% a month, but our souls aren't being crushed. We're not having the soul crushing days,
Yes.
right?
And
And
stop losses are so important.
they're so important. And we could have been doing that before, but it wasn't the strategy we were using. Now it's part of the
Yep.
strategy. And
Yep.
honestly, if you're doing 10% a month, if you're doing 20% a month, you're going to 10x in a year.
Yes, exactly.
And I mean, honestly, any investor should be happy with 10xing in a year.
Yes.
We were just getting, I think, greedy because we were seeing that we could, like NFTs, like I was just talking to the All for One guys about this.
Mm-hmm.
With NFTs, you like weren't buying an NFT if you weren't going to 10x.
Mm-hmm.
And we're obviously past that point now, but it's the same deal. Like now you're like, okay, that's not what I'm doing. Can I make a nice 10% and retire comfortably when I want to,
Yes,
right? Because
I
compounding
agree.
matters.
It does. It matters so much.
And so being able to compound is important. And what we were doing before, we were never able to compound because we kept getting screwed. And now we have the
Mhm.
opportunity to compound, and I think that's important, right? I think that's an important thing.
Yes.
So
Yes, I agree.
two new no, well, not new strategies, but we're doing new strats, and we're doing them two different coins or three different coins so we can see how it
Mm-hmm.
works. And honestly, people, this one I back tested for August and it worked pretty darn good. And
Mm-hmm.
there's a couple kinks we got to work out with this new phase of it. But I'm telling
Yeah.
you, I think if it works, people, you are going to be so excited. You're going to love this
Mm-hmm.
strategy.
Yep.
I think I think people are going to make a lot of money in it before the government shuts us down.
Yes. I although I think right now, just from being in it, I think that the first one is going to be better if you don't want to be involved at all.
For sure. That's like one of the tweaks that we have to work out. I
Mm-hmm.
think the newer version, if you want to call it that, or the new facet, that'd be a better
Yeah,
statement.
lower risk, lower reward.
It's low risk, it's low reward, and it also takes, you have to actually do some involvement. It's
Yeah,
not walk away. So the strategy, the original strategy, we just walk away, which we're still doing the original strategy,
which
right?
we're in month 2. Yep, month 2.
It worked, and so we're
I
still
put some
running
more
it.
money in. Mhm.
But the one we're looking at right now, it's like, okay, you kind of gotta, the the trading software doesn't have the finesse controls that
Mm-hmm.
we would like.
Yes.
So we're having to put in our own controls. The biggest one and the scariest one, well, maybe I can do two. I haven't tried this. I'm scared to try it day one, but I'm not really good with the stops. So we're using lots of stops in our
Mm-hmm.
strategy. And this one so far, I'm not, I might be able to do a stop. I'm not sure. And
Yeah, that was
I'm
the
scared to
thing. I
try.
I couldn't find where to do a stop when I did
No,
it
I know where to
before.
do it. It's not as easy as doing the other one, and I'm not sure what'll happen if I do it. Like
Okay.
I think it'll work. And you and I can
Okay.
talk about that. I just haven't done it yet
Yeah.
because I'm like, I don't know if that's gonna do what
Yeah.
I want it to
But
do.
that at the same time, I spend a lot of time on my phone throughout the day, so I can keep an eye on that.
Yes,
But it's at
exactly right.
night, which is what happened last time, but you can't be liquidated.
You can't be liquidated. That's the thing. You can't be liquidated. So we'll talk more about that, people,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll let you know what we're doing eventually, right or wrong, right? So whether it does good, we'll let you know, or if it does
Yep.
crappy. But right now
Mm-hmm.
we've got a lot of confidence and things are working, and we'll make sure you know. So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, that's what's going down over here. Anything else you're thinking of?
No, I mean those are two big things that I saw recently, the 8.1 and then the Vee Friends announcement was pretty awesome. So
That is so
yeah,
cool.
just go in there. Let me see. Actually, I haven't checked today. Let me look real fast to see if I don't think a new gift NFT would have dropped because people have until the 7th. So next week I should know more. People have till the 7th to claim if or to RSVP. I got some
Okay.
random thing in here. and that is not an NFT that I bought. So no, nothing new for me. I
Nothing new
have
for you.
an instant offer for 0.31, so I think I'm going to take that so I can sell everything in my wallet for 0.31. Yeah, I'm not going to be clicking that, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's hilarious.
Um, I'm getting every day we get closer to January and our miners paying out, like our NFMs. I get
I was
excited
thinking
about
about
that
that the
too.
other day.
Yeah.
So excited about that. Is it January? For some reason I was thinking it was March. So yeah, January is going to be sweet.
Is it March? I don't know.
I don't remember. I remember I voted and I voted for it to wait longer, but I can't remember what that meant.
I don't know, but like that is one of our NFTs that's had such good price action, right? Like I don't
Hmm.
know what it's at right now, but we will end the episode with that. So our non-fungible miners, which is something that we got into back at the very beginning of April. We got in ground floor and then they changed the rules, making it even better.
Hmm.
And oh man, I can't decide which collection I'm looking at here. This is not the right one. There's fake ones out there.
Oh, I believe it.
I mean, they're not for sale. So why would you have NFMs?
Oh, and then not for sale. So
But
it's fake, but there's nothing.
but right, like that doesn't make any sense, does it?
Hmm.
Okay, let me do it this way. I'll go find them. Holy cow. There's a ball busters like collection. It's not me.
Holy moly.
And they've got like my name, like some of the ETH names. Like there's ballbuster.eth, there's ball dashbuster ETH, there's ballbust.eth, there's ball busting. I don't know if they're stealing mine, but it's funny enough that they are. Oh, and those are definitely inappropriate pictures. Do not
Uh-oh.
search Ballbuster on OpenSea, friends. You are not going to see what you wanted to
Is your
see.
phone gonna get a rash?
My computer might get a rash from that. That is for sure. All right, where are my NFMs? Actually, I can't even find my NFMs. That's mildly concerning. Okay, when did we get the NFMs? Uh-huh. So I am in mild panic mode.
You don't see your NFMs?
Not at all. What am I doing wrong? Whew, I do not
Hmm.
know. That's interesting. I don't know why I don't
Let
see
me
them.
see.
Go check yours and see if you see
I
yours.
just I just closed my OpenSea.
Yeah.
I know, given all these props, like this is an awesome thing. Ba ba ba.
Right? And then all of a sudden they're like gone and
Psych.
I'm like, what is going on? Like that's kind of sketchy, right?
Yeah,
Okay, I'm looking nothing. I have no activity on OpenSea
yeah.
for a long time. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. So you think it would be in here, huh? I'm in mild panic mode, friends. Mild panic mode.
Hmm. I wait, because I have mine as recently received.
Yeah, mine too.
They are Not there. Come
uh,
to my ducks.
people, you are catching this live right now. How crazy is
This
that?
is crazy. I'm to my maiden voyage.
I've had no activity on my MetaMask wallet. My maidens are there. I don't see non-fungibles even like um in general where they're supposed to be at, like on OpenSea. I'm gonna jump to official links and see if I see them. Page is gone.
There. The Discord is still here.
Yes, I'm on the Discord right now. Okay, I'm gonna go and see if there's anything on the Discord. People, this is crazy. I've never had stuff like this, so this is kind of weird, right?
Yeah. Unless I'm just gonna check if
So
maybe it
today,
got hidden.
oh, somebody was like, "What's happened to OpenSea?" Other people are noticing. People are like, "What happened to the collection?"
Yeah.
That is weird. I wonder if there's anything in the NFM. Okay, so that's weird. So where did the collection
Let's
go?
see.
Mm,
Non. Was there a dash between? Oh yeah, non. Non-fungible minor. If you.
right? I just made a ticket. Like, hi. So anyway, scary stuff for people who are into the
Okay, they are on. They are on. Looks rare. And let me see my collection.
looks rare, it doesn't keep up though.
I think so. Yeah, looks rare definitely keeps up.
I found like sometimes they're behind. Here's
You
a
think
question.
so?
Can I access? Remember, I used to access the contract for this.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is,
Oh,
can I
see,
still
this
access the
has
contract?
all the like all the crap on here.
Oh
Yeah, my
yeah.
non-fungible miners are on looks rare.
Well, that's something anyway. Well, people, we will keep you updated on what the heck is going on. Hopefully, we get some news for you. Stay tuned. This is Ballbuster
Yeah, this is
signing
exciting.
off.
Killed the Dragon Jerry. Love you all.